And we are back. Welcome to my final preview and predictions video for Matchday 5 of the European Qualifiers. Before we get into today's video, a brief reminder that if you want to check out my preview and predictions for today's matches, you can do so by clicking the link at the top of your screen right now. And you also have just 24 hours to get your community predictions in for the opening day of Matchday 6. I've posted those live on the community page right now alongside the post of this video. So you literally just have 24 hours to have your say on those matches taking place on Sunday. But before we get into today's video, my word, what an opening night it was on Matchday 5. Some upsets everywhere you look. And look, I warned you about the Slovakia game against Germany. I had a feeling Slovakia could get something from that match. But I have to say, fair play to Poland for getting a draw away at Netherlands. Great result for them. But also Malta, not only did they finally score, but they were seconds away from beating Lithuania away. But unfortunately for them, it ended in a draw. But drama right off the bat in these European qualifiers this week. So let's see if it's going to continue today. As always, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video. If you enjoy all of my prediction series, share it with a friend, subscribe with notifications turned on to miss out on any other videos we have got coming up for you this season. And of course, if you want to gain even more access to more previews and predictions from myself this year, you can do so by clicking the join button at the bottom of your screen to become a member of the channel. Now then, as for today, or should I say as for tomorrow, we've got just 6 matches on Saturday, which I do think is a bit odd. 10 matches on a Friday, 6 matches on a Saturday doesn't really seem to make much sense to me, but that is the way UEFA have decided to do it. So let's get things started with Group F, the final group that is yet to have any matches played so far in this competition. It's Armenia, Portugal, Ireland, and Hungary. And we start off with Armenia and Portugal, where I've already mentioned about upsets in Matchday 5, this would be another major upset in my opinion if Armenia were able to pull this off. Armenia were only able to secure 2 wins out of 6 matches in their Nations League group over the course of last season, but somehow that was enough still to secure them a second place finish. They then went on to lose 9-1 to Georgia in their playoff match, so they will be remaining in the same league for the next round of the Nations League. For Portugal, they didn't really do much in the Nations League either. They just won it for the second time, the only country to ever win it twice, and ended Spain's 2-year unbeaten streak in competitive matches. Other than that, they didn't really do much over the course of the last few months. Obviously, there is a sadder undertone for these next couple of matches for Portugal because it's their first matches since the passing of Diogo Jota, and obviously we've done things with Liverpool about that on this channel so far, but the nice thing I want to see is obviously that Ruben Neves is going to be wearing his shirt number from now on, I believe, for Portugal. But yeah, there's obviously going to be a lot of tributes to Diogo Jota over the course of the next few days. In terms of this match itself, though, realistically, I think we all know Portugal are going to be incredibly strong favourites coming into this one. No concerns for Armenia regarding any of their key players. For Portugal, there's going to be no Rafa Leao, and also Diogo Dalot pulled out of the squad yesterday in training. He's going to miss both games. Once again, we all expect Cristiano Ronaldo to lead the line for Portugal. The last time these sides met was way back in Euros qualifying 10 years ago. And on that occasion, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. So it just shows, again, the sheer amount of longevity that he's had. And bear in mind, he was 30 then. He's 40 now, going into what absolutely certainly will be his final ever attempt at a World Cup. We shall see how it kicks off tomorrow evening, though. I'm obviously going to go for a Portugal win. I expect them to win this fairly comfortably. I'm going to go for 4-1. They always do tend to leak 1 or 2 goals, Portugal. And Armenia are capable of scoring goals. I just think Portugal will score a considerable amount more. On to the other game in Group F then, and it is the Republic of Ireland kicking off their campaign against Hungary. To be honest, I can see this one being much closer. Neither of these sides had very good Nations League campaigns last year. Ireland managed to avoid relegation from League B. Hungary got relegated to League B after a poor League A campaign. So, like I say, neither of them have had particularly great last 12 months, and coming into this, it might actually be Ireland that are considered the side that have the slight edge over Hungary, because these two actually met in a friendly last year, and it was the Irish who came out on top 2-1 at home in the same stadium that this match is going to be played. So could be a potentially interesting one. In terms of the team news, I was going to sit here and talk about two players that had a fantastic start to the season. Obviously, Dominik Szoboszlai for Liverpool, whether it's at attacking midfield or at right back, I would assume he's going to play a little bit further forward for Hungary in this match. And for Ireland, it was all going to be about Troy Parrott and this simply unbelievable start he has made to the season for AZ Alkmaar. However, he has suffered a knee injury which could see him miss not just this international break, but the October and the November matches as well. And without his goals, Ireland could be in serious trouble. Remember, only 2 teams can get into the World Cup from this group. One automatically and one into the playoffs. They're going to need goals if they're going to get through this group against a Hungary side that are very, very good on their day. To be honest, like I said, I do fancy Hungary to be the favourites for this match. But with Ireland being the home team, and considering that Hungary have an incredibly poor away record over the last 2 years, I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for 1-1 for Republic of Ireland and Hungary. On to Group H then, and we kick things off here with Austria and Cyprus. Austria so far have won their 2 matches in this group, beating Romania and San Marino. Cyprus also beat San Marino, but have then lost to Romania and Bosnia. So they've lost 2 games out of 3. Austria have won 2 games out of 2. No real surprises that I do expect Austria to go on and win this match. Furthermore, there's over 100 places between these sides in the world rankings. So, again, anything but an Austria win here would be considered a major upset in my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, there are no major concerns for either side coming into this. No suspensions as well. Sadly, of course, David Alaba, who did look like he was making his way back to full fitness in the summer, he picked up another injury at the start of the Club World Cup. He is once again going to be missing for Austria. It's a real shame for him because I think he would have loved to have really got some momentum going and maybe had one last more World Cup for him, but that doesn't look like it is going to be the case. Regardless, though, this should be an easy win for Austria. No recent head-to-head record to speak of coming into this. I'm going for a 4-0 victory to the Austrians. The other game in Group H sees San Marino taking on Bosnia, and a lot of you may be thinking, here we go again, another quick prediction. Obviously, we all expect Bosnia to beat San Marino. However, it should be noted that these two sides met on Matchday 3, and Bosnia only managed a 1-0 victory at home to San Marino in that match. They then went on to lose a friendly 3 days later to Slovenia. So they're not coming into this on really particularly good form, Bosnia, in terms of their performance, but the results would suggest otherwise. Bosnia so far played 3, won 3. San Marino so far played 4, lost 4. But I'm just going to throw it out there. We've said we've had some upsets already on Matchday 5. I do think this has potential for an upset. So don't just sit there going, oh, it's San Marino. Obviously, Bosnia are going to beat them. But at the same time, it's San Marino, Bosnia are going to beat them. I'm going to go for 2-0. But I do think this is going to be one that could be potentially closer than people think. Again, from what I could see, no major injury or suspension concerns for either side coming into this. I'm going to say watch out for the upset, but an upset it most certainly would be. I'm still going for that Bosnia victory. And then on to Group K then, the final group that we are yet to cover on Matchday 5. It is Latvia, Serbia, England, Andorra and Albania. Albania taking the day off for this one. And we start off with Latvia and Serbia. Latvia actually come into this game after a really impressive draw against Albania where they actually could have won the game. They missed a penalty and it ended up finishing 1-1. The reason why I say that that is impressive is because Serbia in their last competitive match in this group also only were able to draw with Albania. So considering that they were expected to win that match and then Latvia almost beat Albania, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a Latvia result coming into this one. It also means that both sides are on 4 points coming into this game, as both sides have also beaten Andorra. So could be a crucial game this. If Latvia can get a result over Serbia, they seriously bolster their chances of potentially making something serious happen in this group. For Serbia, they desperately need to get the win with a big game against England coming up in a few days' time. In terms of the team news, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has once again been cut from the Serbian squad. I don't know the ins and outs as to why he's not getting picked at the moment, but he is out for them once again. And like we say, they underperformed against Albania. Maybe they're missing one of their best players by not picking him. Aleksandar Mitrovic is set to return for them, though, after making his move to a new side. I can't remember. I think he went to a new Qatari side, but he's back for Serbia for this one. For Latvia, they are going to be without one of their main men at the back. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name properly, but Chernamordics, who was basically the centre of attention in that 1-1 draw against Albania. He scored Latvia's goal. He scored an own goal for Albania's goal and then got booked in the last minute of the match, which was his second yellow card of the tournament, which means he's suspended for this game. Incredible, unbelievable performance from him in that match, but he is going to be suspended. Again, kind of like with the San Marino Bosnia game, don't rule out the upset here. I think Latvia are capable of pulling it off. But I have to go for a Serbia victory here, in my opinion. And I'm going to go for 2-0 to the Serbians. And last, but certainly not least, it is England taking on Andorra. And we're off to Villa Park for this one. And rather worryingly, the home side at Villa Park hasn't seen the home side score yet. So let's hope that trend doesn't continue coming into this one, especially when you consider that England only beat Andorra 1-0 in the away game in what was an absolutely horrendous fixture back in June. And then they backed that up by losing 3-1 at home to Senegal in a friendly. That said, coming into this, England are 3 games, 3 wins. Andorra are 4 games, 4 losses. But let's not get it twisted. Thomas Tuchel's side seriously needs to step up here. And they've got a lot of major players missing from the entire squad, let alone not expected to make this fixture. No Jude Bellingham, no Cole Palmer, no Bukayo Saka, no Phil Foden, no Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know if I said a couple of them twice, but all of those players are out of the England squad coming into this. And even some of the players they've called up in their replacements, the likes of Adam Wharton, have then subsequently pulled out themselves through injury. So England are a little bit spare coming into this game. The good news is that realistically, every single team in this group should be beating Andorra, especially at home. And a side like England should absolutely be battering a side like Andorra. If we're being honest, this really should be a game that ends 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-0 for England. But from what I've seen from this side under Thomas Tuchel so far, I can see it being yet another rather boring game where England just slowly grind them down and end up getting the victory at the end of it. I'm going to go for 2-0 to England. We shall see. We've got a massive, massive game away to Serbia next week, and that has got to be the focus of this match. And maybe even some of the key players are rested for this game with that Serbia game in mind. But we shall see. I'm going for 2-0 to England. As always, before we round off today's video, we've got our community predictions from you guys. What do you think is going to happen in these 6 matches tomorrow? Well, I'll let you know right now, where again, most of you seem to think there is a clear favourite with Portugal, Austria, Bosnia, Serbia and England all expected to take the victories in your guys' opinion. And like me, you do think the one game that could cause some serious issues is that Ireland-Hungary game, with 31% going Ireland, 48% going Hungary, and 21% going for the draw. That is going to be it for today's video then. I'll put my predictions back up on the screen for you right now to round it off. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. A reminder, once again, you only have 24 hours to get your community predictions in for the opening day of Matchday 6. So a final, thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you tomorrow.